Welcome back to Real Estate with Mariah and Spence. Today we are going all the way back to the basics and we are breaking down a handful of things that you are going to want to know if you are thinking about purchasing real estate, buying, selling real estate, or either as a home for you to live in or as an investment, whatever the reason. These are things you're going to want to know. And the reason we wanted to do this video today is because I know a lot of our audience are younger people, people in their 20s or even younger who are wanting to make money through real estate or just own their own home. That's a goal that they have. And I'm always surprised when I have conversations with other young people about the knowledge about real estate. So a lot of these things, being in the real estate world, we might just think like, it's obvious, everyone knows what these things mean, but we're going to really just break it all down like this real estate for dummies. These are the basic things that you need to know before you get started.
It's so easy for us to do as brokers, though, because we've been doing this for so many years now. Mariah's going on year 9. That's no,
I'm not that old.
We're in year 9 for you.
Are we?
Yeah, you're in your 9th year, I believe. If I'm off, let's go.
I don't know. I'm not gonna count.
Whatever. She's been doing this a long time.
way.
So we get in these routines is my whole point. And we kind of expect certain expectations of knowledge because we've done this so many times. And we realize in the end, I mean, first-time homebuyers, for instance, don't know a lot. Just like I'm relating to my first home sale personally. I didn't know a lot. I wasn't a licensed broker then. It was Mariah handling that transaction for me. Yeah. And I just threw my arms up and said, yeah, go for it. Do what you want. You handle the paperwork. So this is going to be a great show. If you just don't know much about real estate, don't know much about the process, we're here to help you. That's what a real estate professional truly does. And I'll always relate to one of the best guest speakers I've ever been a part of. And he was involved with the Ritz-Carlton franchise. And it was all about service, all about how from the time the customer gets out of the door from their car, under the awning, entering the hotel room, what type of service are we providing? Whether it's the bellman, whether it's the front desk, whether it's room service, food services. How can we help you and make your life simple, easy, but also possible to purchase real estate?
Yes. And our goal on this show is to empower you to be able to make the best decisions possible when it comes to real estate and to just really simplify real estate and buying and selling and just know that it's not something to be fearful of. And I heard this quote that I think is relevant to this that I wanted to share. I heard it today. I'm going to say it wrong. I already know, but it was by Albert Einstein. And he said something about how the more you know, the more you can trust your gut. It was basically just saying like the more educated you are or the more, you know about something, the more that you can then trust your gut on a decision. And I think that's really true when it comes to real estate. The more you know about the process and just the more you watch videos like ours and just educate yourself on real estate in general, then the more that you'll be able to trust your gut when it comes to buying your house and making your decisions with buying, selling, investing, whatever it is that you're doing.
Absolutely.
So
I love that quote.
Yes. The first word we're going to break down is single family home. What does it mean?
Let's do it. Single family home. So let's start from the ground up, right? So single family residences are usually going to be on a parcel. You do own the land underneath you. Single family residence, meaning it's kind of a zoning term. You can't use it as a commercial building, meaning running a business out of the structure that sits on that property address. And it's kind of simply put, single family residence. It has the word family in it. It's for your everyday use. I believe in some states, most states, you need to spend a specific amount of time in these residences. I think if you own a property out of the country, like they require you to be there like at least 4 weeks out of the year or something like that. That's kind of what I'm referring to.
Okay.
But here in the States, I need to refresh on that law. But you got anything else to add?
Basically, just to, I guess, like keep it simple, single family home is just that, like this home that we're in right now. It's just a regular residential home that, not a condo, townhouse, duplex. That's kind of what, if I'm, talking about that with you and we're having a buyer consultation and I'm asking what are the types of real estate that you're open to, a single family home, if that's all you're open to, you just want a house by itself. You don't want any attached walls. You just want your own single family home. So the next term is a duplex. This is where there's 2 different units. A lot of first-time home buyers that we've seen before in the past, purchase a duplex and live in one side, rent the other side out, and pay their mortgage or at least a good part of it. And something about duplexes is you can use certain first-time buyer loans with a duplex. Am I correct on that? I'm pretty sure
it depends on the area.
Okay, depending on the area, but as far as I know, I'm pretty sure that is an option at least sometimes, and so could be a really great option to buy an investment, live in it for a while, and then buy your next.
It used to definitely be more like doable to buy a duplex on a zero down program, USDA home loan, especially when you're outside of the city limits. But now the way that our market is and how high sales prices are, it's quite unbelievable because you can't necessarily do those type of home loans anymore because the standard rates, I mean, they're still at like $460,000, whatever. Lenders correct me.
Yeah.
But that's what the lender's job's for.
Yeah.
But there's only certain loan limits is my whole point.
Right.
You can purchase homes with certain loan types. If that makes sense. Did I clarify that?
Yeah, that does. Okay, so this next type of real estate that you can buy that I will clarify what it means is zero lot line home. So this is something that I'm surprised by how many zero lot line homes there actually are here in Salem, where we're at in Salem, Oregon. You don't really notice them. I know when I see zero lot line homes, if I wasn't selling real estate, I would probably most of the time assume that they're a duplex type situation or maybe even a townhouse because of the way that they look. They can look different ways, so they don't always look the same. But just an example of one that I sold recently is it really just looks like a duplex. There were a lot of other duplexes in the neighborhood where there is a house. When you're inside the house, it just feels like a regular single family home. It doesn't feel like anything different. It doesn't feel like a condo. But there is a shared wall, and then there's another house like right next to it, and they share one wall basically. But instead of like a duplex, you don't own both sides. You just own your zero lot line home. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, they've always been like interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I'm personally not a specialist in zero lot line homes. We've sold them before. But definitely something you want to be aware of, like your can and can't do's with the zero lot line home. That's pretty important because everybody, when they own a piece of property, they have the expectation that they can do what they want. They own it. They just bought it for $500,000. When sometimes when there's an HOA run community or just a bylaw that you weren't aware of because it was never brought to your attention because maybe your broker really wasn't too familiar with it, it's something to realize is my whole point.
Another thing though that I love, or I think would make a zero lot line home a great option if you're someone who your budget is really limited, but you want to be a homeowner, you see the value of home ownership and you want to start building equity and stop paying rent, is that I had a home buyer I was working with not too long ago, and all the homes, they were on a very tight budget. All the homes that we were looking at were not zero lot line homes, just regular single family homes, were like teardowns, horrible condition because of this, the low budget. But we were able to find a zero lot line home in the same price range that was move-in ready. It wasn't updated, it was still an older home, not updated, but it was nothing. It was way, nicer, way better condition than all of the other ones that we were looking at. So you can get more for your money because you do have that shared wall there. So, okay. The next, one is a townhouse. And basically that just means you have a shared wall, but you don't own. With a townhouse and a condo, you don't own the property underneath it. You just own like the home itself or like the unit itself. So with a townhome, you'll have 1 or 2 shared walls type situation. Okay. The next thing to break down is mortgage and equity.
This is a big concept because this is what I'm talking with most of my sellers about. It's like, what's your mortgage? What's your current equity you own in the home? So say, for instance, I'm going to do a quick example. Okay. You purchased 2 years ago for $100,000. Now that's an unrealistic number, but for the simplicity of math, there we go. Purchased 2 years ago for $100,000. Within the 2 years you've lived there, you have 50% equity in the home, meaning your payoff, I guess you only owe $50,000. So am I saying that right?
Wait, okay, start it over.
Equity.
Start over.
I know, right? I just kind of confused myself.
Start it over.
Equity. How much actual money do you own in the home? So everybody has a loan if they have a loan. Now, if you are selling your home for, say, $400,000 and your home is paid off in cash, then you have $400,000 in home equity. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain the difference between what you owe and what the home's worth. So
I love that.
It is hard. It is a kind of hard concept to explain, but yes.
My first thing was market appreciation. Not home equity.
Oh, right. You were talking about appreciation. Yeah. Right. Which we should explain as well. Appreciation. What does that even mean when a home appreciates?
So let's go back to that first example.
You knew what you were on to something.
I was on to something. Okay. So everybody is like, my home is worth this much. They bought 2 years ago, and since living there, their home has appreciated. Their asset has appreciated. Usually when you buy a car, it'll depreciate as soon as you drive off the lot, meaning you bought it $60,000, you go to resell it, now it's only worth $40,000. So it depreciated. Appreciation, it's going to go up. It's appreciating. So that means you're going to have more equity when you sell it. So that maybe that was the term that I was like
that you were working your way to.
So in this market, especially over the last 5 years, we have had an all-time high in sellers' appreciation for their assets. Yeah. And that's due to inflation and the scarcity of other listings competing around us. And it's quite unbelievable. So that's why we are encouraging, if you are a seller, you're looking to move on, maybe you got tons of equity in your home, maybe your home's paid off, you have $400,000 or $500,000 instantly after the home sale to reinvest it, move to Cabo, buy something full cash. Who knows what you want to do? But that is just nothing you've earned or deserved, basically. Yeah. I mean, I always...
You live there.
You live there. And that's why, we have this big argument, why rent when you can buy? Yeah. And it's basically this concept, I would say. Now, there are markets where your equity by far goes down. It depreciates your asset. It will depreciate. But it's like that curve. It's a roller coaster, right? If you can
hold on,
you'll
be okay.
Yes. And so what we simply right now in the real estate industry are looking at is, can you afford your mortgage? Are you going to lose your job?
Yes.
Are you steady? Okay. Yeah. Because if we can afford that monthly payment, your utilities, your expenses monthly, that's what your lender's for. They're doing that background homework for you. Yeah. That's what happened in 07, 08. They didn't do that work for you. Well, we ran into all these foreclosures because people were buying things they could not afford. Yeah. That is so important right now. So make sure you can afford your mortgage, and that's why you should buy, though, because we are buying an asset that's appreciating for you to have equity when you do decide to sell off.
I love that. Do you remember when we used to end every show with a tip of the week? Yeah. A real estate tip of the week. We stopped doing that.
Tips of the week are awesome.
So I'm going to share a real estate tip of the week for a first-time buyer, someone that wants to just buy their first house to get their feet wet. And that is to keep your options open. Don't be too closed-minded, because the house that you buy is going to be an asset. It's going to help you gain equity and shelter income and save money. It's the best built-in piggy bank. And you can do that with so many types of real estate. It doesn't have to be a single family home. We've purchased townhomes before and seen, a townhome. We purchased townhomes. We bought a townhome once and saw crazy appreciation without touching it or doing anything to it. I know that's not ideal for everyone, but just buy what you can afford. I would say you're way better off buying a manufactured home in a park, a condo, a zero lot line home, whatever that is, that maybe is a little bit, you're going to be a better, more desirable price than the same square footage would be if it was a regular residential home. Just buy what you can, and know that I would say that if you're talking like financially, the best decision for you, I would say it's better to do that than to wait and keep saving, because you can buy that house and still keep saving, and you're going to get to the next house a lot quicker if you buy the first house, in my opinion.
The biggest hurdle is like, how do you get to buy your first house? So we can start that like transition of power from renting to ownership. Yeah. So then you could trade off your current investment for a new investment and just keep building up for your future. That's really, I think, the biggest hurdle for a lot of first-time home buyers is the how to and making that first purchase possible. Because it's hard out there. You know, we see all these memes out there, mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, they bought their house for $30,000, $40,000, $100,000.
Right.
Now everything's $450,000+ if you want, you know, something pretty decent around here in our area, at least. So
absolutely
stay positive. It doesn't come overnight. You do need to structure your finances and really look maybe a year in advance as to what you're doing right now and connect with somebody to get you there. I was actually talking to a new buyer of ours. Okay. And she said there was a home buyer consultation. And I was like, what do you mean? Isn't that what your lender is supposed to do? I kind of had a hard time with it. But she lended me the website that she went to, and there's a counselor basically that counsels you as to what you need to do in order to do your home purchase and have all your ducks in order. She kind of educated me for once, and it was different. And I looked up the website and it was completely legit. And is
it free? Did you pay for it?
I think she did pay a little subscription for it.
Okay.
But apparently it's helping her. So
yeah, educate yourself. I mean, the best thing you can do if you are wanting to, like I said, just invest in real estate, whether as a house or investment or a place for you to live, is just educate yourself on what that's going to look like. And a great place to start is head over to our channel. We have a whole playlist just for first-time home buyers that will really help you know what you need to know up front before buying a house.
How many videos do you think we have by now?
A lot.
I mean, we've been doing this over 2 years now. 2.5 years. 200, I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of real estate advice. Share this video with a friend who wants to buy a house. Maybe it can encourage them. And don't forget to subscribe, because we come on here every week and talk about real estate. And we'll see you guys next week.